Jason Kidd, one of the coldest point guards ever, has been a longtime Nike athlete, wearing shoes throughout his career like the Zoom Flight 95, the Air Maestro, the Airhawk Flight. Now, among all of those shoes, there was a Flightposite colorway that he had a PE of, and now we're getting a shoe that is similar to what he wore with some changes. Nike Air Flightposite Midnight Navy. Now the shoe is dropping on, I'm not sure when, but it is going to drop, apparently, hopefully, but it is dropping, and it's probably going to be around a price of $240, $250, $255, $245, $235, anywhere around that range. Now in 1999, there was that metallic purple release of the Flightposite. In 2008, we got the Eggplant release in a House of Hoops exclusive, and Jason Kidd himself wore the PE in the 2000 All-Star Game. But the Flightposites was originally released back in 1999. There was the follow-up to the Foamposite 1s, Foamposite Pros, and originally it was debuted by Kevin Garnett.
This might help you. This really might help you.
I'd take them off if I could find the laces.
Hope you miss it.
It was also worn by people like Jason Kidd, of course, Tim Duncan as well, which is kind of peculiar because KG as well as Tim Duncan eventually moved to Adidas. And first impressions of this shoe, this is actually my first Flightposite that I've ever reviewed on this channel, and I do think it is actually maybe a hot take. It could be a better silhouette, in my opinion, than the Foams. It is like a close sibling to the Foams, of course. I think it might just look a little bit more clean or sleeker. Maybe a hot take, maybe. I don't know, depending on the colorway, I guess I could change my mind. But I do think the Flightposite silhouette is very nice. The colorway of it, I've always loved like eggplant colorways. Of course, you got the Foamposite eggplant. You had the LeBron 4 eggplant, this kind of iridescent purple, different type of shading depending on the light. Just looks really unique. And Jason Kidd, one of the baddest mofos ever. He was just always one of the most exciting point guards in the NBA. Kind of forgotten about with the younger generation, but as a player, one of the fastest players end to end, one of the best passers, and what separated him from a lot of other point guards was his willingness to make or attempt that crazy pass. He was a bad. And the materials on the shoe, of course, it is the Foamposite material. The way they make Foamposite material is by heating up polyurethane to around 175 degrees Fahrenheit, pour it into a mold. It creates a very unique shape. And one good thing about that material is it is very durable, and the more you wear it, the more it molds to your feet. The recent Foamposites compared to like the OG Foamposites, they're slightly softer, so the break-in time slightly reduced there. And the color on this, obviously it is that eggplant purple colorway, but under certain lighting, it does kind of look almost greenish as well. And the shape of the Flightposite, obviously a very unique type of shape. And originally when they designed the shoe, Eric Avar was the designer. He wanted this to be like an extension of the foot. So it's actually based on like the anatomy of a human body. So the idea really was to make this feel like just a sock on your foot, still a very, very unique design. Now, obviously, one of the more distinct things apart from just the shape and the look is this zip and shroud over the laces. This part on the Jason Kidd PEs was actually like black. On this, it is more like midnight navy, and on the lateral and medial side of the shoe, you've probably noticed is this kind of pod there that is obviously meant for lateral support as well as to increase rigidity. This was a basketball shoe after all, so you really don't want this shoe to be able to bend and flex too easily, really bad in terms of injuries. This also does not look like the Jason Kidd PEs. So the color is different, and at the very top, you will see just Nike branding. Again, Jason Kidd had his own number there, so they're missing that. So once you undo this Velcro, you'll obviously see the zip. You pull it down, it'll reveal the laces. Now the tongue here, it is actually just like part of this inner booty. And on the pull tab on the tongue itself, it says Flightposite. And on the back, more Nike branding that is just printed there. It has these 5 dots. Those 5 dots actually represent the Nike Alpha project that was back in the late 90s to 2000s. Now, one shoe that I absolutely love, one of my favorite shoes of all time, came out of the Nike Alpha project, was the Huarache 2K4s. Just one of the GOATs. Absolutely love that shoe. So that's why you'll see those 5 dots on the 2K4s on the outsole there. This shoe does come with one extra set of laces, just black laces. And I will say, switching laces on these, good luck to you. It is an absolute pain. You can see or imagine how it would feel with the shroud here, but the first eyelet kind of extends past that, so you really have to dig your fingers into it and just kind of just get lucky and put it in the right eyelet. It's just very, very annoying. And I don't really get why, because you have the shroud to cover the laces anyway. Unless you want to wear it exposed, it's up to you. But it does come with black laces. Out of the two, I think the blue laces probably go a little bit better. But it doesn't really matter because I would wear these with the zip up anyway. My wide feet sometimes can make the zip go down, but the idea is to cover my laces with these. Now, in terms of the cushioning, you will actually see this on the insole. So first, you will get this polyurethane insole, very thick. The more you wear it, the more it molds your feet. And also on the forefoot as well as the heel, you will get Zoom Air that's like embedded into the insole. And in terms of the outsole, you will get this rubber outsole. You will see the branding there, Nike Flyposite, Foamposite technology, and the middle there. And oh boy. So most of it, a lot of it looks like the original Flyposite. On the lateral side, looks fine. On the medial side, what? What? Like, what? Now, I understand there was that 2013 exposed zebra colorway that did away with that part of the outsole, but this is just, it's blatant. And the box of the shoe, a pretty regular Nike box. Now, in terms of sizing and comfort, I am a wide and flat footer for Flyposits. Hard to get it perfect for a big fat wide footer like me, because the more you wear this shoe, the more it breaks in, but initially the break-in period can be kind of tough because the arch area can feel kind of tight. This inner booty adds more like thickness to the inside of the shoe, so it kind of just hugs your foot a little bit more. But once you break it in, it does feel really nice. Compared to the foams too, it is lighter, feels less brickish. Underfoot, it is like super low profile. So keep that in mind. Originally, it was a basketball shoe. A lot of people do like that kind of core feeling, but as casual use, you might feel like it's too close to the ground. But I do think it is a decently comfortable shoe. If you don't want that kind of extended break-in period and you have wide and flat feet, you could go up half a size. And that brings the total sole score of the Nike Air Flyposit Midnight Navy to 31.5 out of 40. A pretty good score compared to other general releases. Now, first, it is colorway. I've always loved this eggplant type of colorway. It is so sleek, kind of got a nighttime look to it. I just love how unique it is. Now, in terms of materials, can't really go wrong with Foamposite materials. Still very unique, molds to your feet the more you wear it. It is durable, slightly softer than the originals. It's just one of a kind. The only reason why it's 9 out of 10 is that kind of slightly extended break-in time, and also a personal preference. I just think there's nothing that beats like really nice leather. And in terms of comfort, I definitely do think this is a more comfortable shoe than a Foamposite. It is slightly less brickish, slightly lighter. I really love the inner booty that hugs to your feet. Can be a little tight depending on the size of your feet, but it feels good. It also may be too low for some people, but overall, as a retro shoe, I think it's very comfortable. And in terms of the versatility, the shape of this is a little much. It can look very much like a basketball shoe, so totally get it. It is not very wearable to like a wide general audience as a casual shoe. In terms of the wearability of the colorway, it is also a little bit out there, even though it's kind of like black from a far distance. So that's kind of wearable, but up close, you're like, there's a reflection, iridescent nature to it that is kind of different. So it's not super wearable or versatile for a lot of different settings, but it is definitely unique. I'll say that. Now, today's throwback of the day on the topic of Jason Kidd PEs, I am going to talk about just one of my favorite shoes of all time. It's a very special shoe to me. It is the Zoom Flight 2K3. Now, Jason Kidd wore this. LeBron James had a St. Vincent St. Mary PE. Kobe Bryant had a Lakers colorway that he wore as well. I love this shoe. I really wish Nike would bring this back. First of all, just look at the shape. It is so clean. The lines are so smooth. I just love how it looks. Secondly, as far as my memory serves me, this is my first ever like proper basketball shoe. My dad went back to Taiwan when I was growing up. He went alone and he brought us, both me and my brother, a pair of these each. Same exact colorway, but he got it for us as kind of a surprise. I had no idea that he was gonna bring any shoes back. I didn't ask for it. This is the first time I remember having like actual basketball sneaker shoes. And I had the white and blue, was so clean. I loved it. The kind of ankle would kind of dig into your legs if you don't wear thick enough socks. So that was one of the pain points. I wore it like outdoors, I wore it indoors, just destroyed this shoe. And after it was destroyed, threw it out. I don't have it anymore. When I went back home like a year or two ago, I like absolutely flipped my room upside down. I flipped the garage inside out looking for the remains of this shoe and I couldn't find it. And my parents told me I threw it out before I left home. I'm just, man, just what a gorgeous shoe, very personal to me. Bring it back, please, Nike, for the love of God. I will buy every single colorway. You will make a profit off me alone. Even though it's not exactly the same as what people probably wanted, there's a few glaring differences. But I do like that Nike digs into the archives and they're giving people like me a chance to grab these as an adult. That's it. Thanks for watching. Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Nike Flightposite Eggplant. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.